Emily, thank you. Is a controversial weed killer used by farmers threatening 200-year-old trees? The iconic cypress trees growing in the middle of Reelfoot Lake are being damaged.
And one hotel owner says they may be lost for good if something isn't done. Investigative reporter Ben Hall has found growing concerns with the prominent herbicide.
It's been a 5-generation business.
Mike Hayes' grandmother built his family's first hotel on Reelfoot Lake back in the 1920s. His great-grandfather was a tour guide.
5 generations you've been out here.
Yeah, my son gonna be the 5th.
The shallow lake in northwest Tennessee was created by an earthquake back in 1812. Tourists have been fascinated by the 200-year-old cypress trees that grow in the water.
We can't replace them, and they're really getting hit hard by some new chemicals that we hadn't had before.
This summer, he showed state officials the damage he was seeing.
Now this tree right here, it's been hit by dicamba.
He says a weed killer called dicamba that farmers spray on fields all around him often drifts over Reelfoot Lake, damaging trees and killing lily pads.
Before they ever open, the flowers are dying on the stem.
He has videos, he says, shows hazy areas where dicamba is likely drifting off farms. Small levels of dicamba can cause serious damage to nearby trees or crops.
Next year or the year after, if we don't get something done, we're gonna see a major kill off the trees on Reelfoot.
The state confirms that 2 of 16 tests showed levels of dicamba on the lake, but said the damage to the trees could be caused by other things, like a recent drought.
I just gotta do what I think is right.
Hayes is convinced dicamba is the problem, but he was still reluctant to talk about it and upset surrounding farmers or the big corporation that sells the herbicide.
You know, people are scared of Monsanto and what they can do to them.
Monsanto, which was recently bought by Bayer, sells dicamba.
I've never seen politicians so scared of a group in my life. Some of them even have damage themselves. They will not touch Monsanto.
We're going to investigate every complaint as they come in. It doesn't matter what the product was, who manufactured it.
Keith Harrison with the Tennessee Department of Agriculture dismissed the idea the state would not take on Monsanto and said the state just enacted emergency regulations after getting 135 complaints of dicamba damage last year.
The big thing that we found was not always following label directions.
The state now requires farmers using dicamba to get training, as well as use hooded sprayers during the hottest summer months when it's most likely to drift.
Is the state doing enough with dicamba?
We could always do more.
But Harrison added complaints dropped this year after some of the new rules went in place.
I think we're learning how to do a better job in stewarding this technology.
Now, a lot of trees.
Mike Hayes would like to see a protected zone around the lake where dicamba can't be sprayed.
When you lose a tree and it dies at Reelfoot, it never's come back.
He says there's too much at stake.
There's sometimes you just gotta step out of the box and say, hey, this is wrong, it's not working, we need to do something about it.
The EPA just approved dicamba for another 2 years. State officials promised to investigate all complaints and monitor those new rules. We'll keep watching Reelfoot Lake and other areas dealing with dicamba.
Ben, thank you.